Yes, a very beautiful evening to you, our dear viewer, and thank you so much for keeping it to Church of Uganda Family TV, most especially here on this program, My Story, that happens every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. And I hope we always inspire. You know, the main course of this program is to inspire people out there who tend to give up on life, majorly by through the people we bring here, telling us their stories of how they went through life and how they managed to be what they are. So it is always important that you get your remote and sit in your comfortable sitting room at 6:30 every Sunday, and you watch My Story, a program here at Church of Uganda Family TV. So we always, it has been a very common, mostly among the young people who want to get things very fast, and then they want to be very wealthy very fast, which is not actually the actual way of getting to those stages. You see the people. So that is why we bring people here. They tell us of how they manage to do whatever they do, or whatever they went through, all the challenges they went through, and what they managed to be, who they are, or who we actually be seeing currently. Now, today it is a very big pleasure. I'm hosting a very prominent person. When we were coming here to discuss before the cameras were on, I was telling me that he really does not appear much on TV, but he sees TV so much. So it is very interesting. Today I'm hosting Mr. Julius Biingi. You're most welcome to this show.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you
and
very much.
you can greet our viewers out there.
Hello, viewers. My name is Julius Biingi Kawiso. Uh, by the glory of God, I'm the husband to the president of Mothers Union, Julius Biingi Kawiso, Namirembe Diocese. I greet everybody who is viewing us at this moment.
Wow.
You're all welcome. Hope it is going to be an interesting session.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes,
Yes.
as you've heard, he is the husband to the president of Mothers Union in Amirembe Diocese. Now, we want to know, you see, we have seen him here right now, but we don't know what it was like to be, for him to be in this particular position right now. So I want us to go back behind.
Yes.
Where are you born?
Uh, well, by tribe, I'm a Mugwere. I'm born in the eastern part of this country. That is the famous Kibuku district. I traveled and have been brought up in Hoima. When I was a very young boy, my parents passed on, but when they were still alive, I had a sister in Hoima. So when I was in P5, uh, she had some funds that was just put aside. So she took me to Hoima when I was in P5. While in Hoima, I studied in a school called Duhaga Boys Primary School. It's just a church funded school,
Yes, yes.
just beside our cathedral there.
Mm.
So I finished my primary 7, I got first grade. Then I went to a school called Kitara Secondary School, one of the prominent schools in Hoima. It's also based in town. There is where I spent the entire O-level session.
Okay.
Then, of course, HSC came.
Mm.
Then I went to HSC. In HSC, I went to a school called Satito Wenyi.
Okay.
Satito Wenyi was a famous king in the Winyoro Kingdom.
Right.
I started my HS there. I did art subjects.
Okay.
Then, that was 89,
Mm.
I joined Makerere University.
Okay. Now, before we go to Makerere University,
Yes.
how is life at school? Like, is everything okay? Parents providing fees? Is life okay?
Well, of course, school life is a hassle. You have to definitely, once you are taken to school, you have gone to study. That's the bottom line. And for me, having told you my background, I was brought up by my sister.
Okay.
She's no longer alive.
No,
Uh, May her soul rest in peace. She was called Alice Viretwa. She was working in UCB by then, the Uganda Commercial Bank. By then, before it became Islamic. So she took care of my tuition. And of course, she could tell me one thing.
Mm.
I brought you here to study,
Okay.
and education is the future of your life.
Mm.
So I brought you from the village because I was studying in village schools
Oh.
when I was at home.
Mm.
So of course, when I also went to Hoima,
Mm.
I saw my life had upgraded to another level.
Mm.
Uh, those people happened to have been rich where I was staying.
Okay.
The husband to my sister was a cow.
Mm.
Those days they were called district commissioners.
Okay.
So when I went to school, of course, those were good schools.
Mm.
They were very, very good schools. And of course, for me, I took advantage.
Mm. Of
And
that.
my passion to study was in high gears.
Mm.
I loved studying. I loved good things. I was passionate about good life. So I know education was the background to my future.
Mm.
So I did not take it for granted. I definitely started on a high note.
Okay.
And in school, of course, you have peer groups, influencers,
Yes. Yes.
and there are those who want to study, there are those who don't want to
Don't.
study, and there are those who are from rich families, there are those children who are from poor families.
Mm.
So I took myself in the average standard.
Okay.
I was
You were
not so.
not stubborn at school.
I was stubborn in a way. I was stubborn in a way because I loved social networking. I loved
Okay.
people.
Mm.
Well, I don't know what you mean by stubborn,
Mm.
but I was stubborn for a
You are
cause.
not
I
giving
was
teachers headache.
proactive.
You are not giving teachers headache.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
But I was just a naughty boy, a
Oh.
naughty boy,
Mm.
and I loved good things. I loved
And
friends.
how is your performance?
My performance was definitely average.
Mm.
I can't say I was among the superstars,
Mm-hmm.
but what I did is to join the superstars,
Oh.
to be closer to them. Because
Mm.
my sister would tell me, make sure you are closer
Mm.
to the children who have the brains.
Mm.
We are not all equal when you're at school. So what I did is definitely most of my groups were those children who are God fearing,
Mm.
and because we used to have what they called school union by then,
Oh, yes.
and I used mainly to dine with such guys,
Mm.
and definitely, yeah, we had a good time in secondary life.
Mm. And
I was in the school union,
mm.
and we used to have Bible studies.
Mm.
We used to have foreign guests. They used to be Bazungus who could come from America
Okay.
to come and spread the gospel.
Mm.
And for us, by then, of course, uh, I was living with a Christian background, a
Mm.
Christian home.
Okay.
So we could get involved in scripture union
Mm.
activities, and definitely I was one of the scripture union leaders.
Mm.
So that is how it was throughout my secondary life, but mainly in the Kitara Secondary School from S1 to S4. I
Are
got
there
involved a lot.
some interesting moments you remember so much that this was my best moment in school?
Yeah, the
Mm.
most interesting moments, what I remember is, of course, uh, there used to be those Americans, pastors who could come to our school.
Mm.
And what I remember, we used also to go for Bible studies. And whenever we went for Bible studies, these Bazungus could get interested in us. We became so closer.
Mm.
I remember one of the Muzungus measuring the size of my feet,
Mm.
and he went with it to America because he said, "I need your size.
Okay.
You are such a nice guy. I need to bring you a very nice canvas shoes."
Mm.
So that was interesting. And every weekend we would go to his home
Mm.
and do some Bible studies.
Mm.
Yeah.
But you're doing Bible studies. Is it because of the Christian background home, or you were already saved?
Well, by then I wasn't saved.
Oh.
I remember very well. But you know, these guys could come to schools to preach to us. And definitely they would tell you that if you are interested in Bible studies, to know about Christ,
Mm.
we would join them over the weekends.
Okay.
And of course, in the Muzungu's home, you'd find they have prepared the tea, they
Yes.
have prepared the soda, and it was a reunion, some kind of reunion. It was a good thing.
Okay.
And of course, my sister, for her, she was a saved woman. Me, I wasn't saved by then. Uh, I got saved later, and again I could get saved, then backslide. You know, you get
Temptations.
saved, then
Yeah.
backslide. Sometimes you get saved because of the peers. You would be influenced by the peer groups.
Yes.
So we had those kind of challenges
Okay.
in our lifetime.
Now you are done with secondary school.
Yes,
Now you're heading to Makerere University, the
yes,
famous one.
yes.
Mm.
Well, from Satito Winyi, the school I told you
Mm.
was a king's school. Was one of the kings in Bunyoro Kitala Kingdom.
Mm.
I joined the Makerere University.
Mm.
My results when they came back after S6,
Mm.
they were very impressive. But before joining Makerere University, I was working with Cooperative Bank. Excuse me. I was working with Cooperative Bank by then. I don't know whether you remember that bank for the farmers. So I was working with the bank as a messenger.
As a messenger, okay.
Messenger by then is a person who could prepare the office of the bosses before they come to work. So I could wake up very early, go and clean the office of my managers, clean the tables, clean the banking hall. And of course, that was during my vacation. That's before I joined Makerere University.
Okay.
So when the results came back, uh, I had been invited. I had passed very well. I got very, very good. I got very good grades. I was among one of the best students in the school and also in the district. So I was admitted in Makerere University. I did the Bachelor's of Science in Social Sciences. And of course, I was admitted in one of the famous halls called the North Court.
Okay.
By then, we used to call it North Court State Supreme Revolutionary Command Council. So
It's a whole big name.
that was a very famous hall
Hall.
in the university, in Makerere University. And as freshers, we were welcomed and we were excited. But of course, they had its own traditions.
Yeah.
You know,
The
halls,
hall.
yes, in Makerere, all halls, let it be Lumumba, let it be Mary Stuart, they are attached to their cultures.
Okay.
So it has to, they had the culture in Northcote. And of course, I met there some of my OBs. We were welcomed as freshers. And then, of course, they had to subject us to their culture.
Okay.
You had to go through the culture. They take you through certain drills. And I remember it was called the military hall. You know, there we became addicted to being stubborn guys. We were very stubborn. I must say, you just become stubborn, even if you are from a low profile background. But we became stubborn, and we would just you just get addicted to certain kind of life
Life, yes.
because we were living in that society. Like in Uganda, they say there's a saying in Uganda to ogende jebali embwa. So we became very stubborn group. And I remember we would clad ourselves in leaves, like you behave like you're a military guy. Then when we were going for like football with Lumumba, there would be wars. Wars, typical wars. We would exchange stones, fight. It was a terrible haul, and that's why I think after later, I think by then we had already left the university. Some of those guys, they had to change, the government had to change the name of the hall to Insivirwa so that they can dilute. Because Northcote naturally was a university or a hall of very stubborn guys, but not for the bad. Okay?
Yes.
They would make their noise. And they used to call us bachelor boys. Because for them, they never believed into relationship.
Okay.
So they could call us bachelor boys. Yeah, so that is the story about Northcote. And maybe for your information, when I was in second year, we had elections, and I was among those people who was picked as the speaker.
Oh.
So I was the speaker of the Northcote State Supreme Revolutionary Command Council.
Yes.
So it was like a military base, and we would call ourselves
even
like,
the name itself.
yes, like we are military men. We had guys like the Mao, not Mao, Dombo, the spokesperson of the current NRM,
Yes.
Dombo. We were
Emmanuel Dombe.
Emmanuel
Okay.
Dombo. We were with those guys,
Mm.
and then I remember that was the same year.
Mm.
Mayombo, the late,
Oh, yes.
for him it was I think in Lumumba.
Mm.
Mao was in Micho. So those are the guys we studied with.
Okay.
I remember I was one of the campaign guys who campaigned for Mao to
Mao,
become
yes,
a guild
a guild
president. We were with the Olanyas. Olanya was the speaker of the guild,
Mm.
of the university. So all those were my peers.
Okay.
Yes,
No, that's interesting. So,
yes.
how is life generally at campus outside the military
Yeah,
base?
life at campus is a different life from
Eh,
the secondary life.
okay.
You know, at that time, to go to university was a pride.
Mm.
There were no many universities. That was, for me, I was there 1993,
Mm.
1989 to 93
Mm.
for 3 years. I had a 3 year course.
Mm.
And by then, to go to university, you'd be highly respected.
Yes.
There were very few universities in the country.
Mm.
And for us, we were in a government university. And we were not paying school fees.
Mm.
We were not paying tuition. So going to university uh, was a big pride. You'd be respected in the village. You'd be respected in the vicinity where you are staying.
Mm.
So I think for me, um, when I was called to the university, I celebrated life.
Mm.
I think I was extremely happy man.
Okay.
And for your information, like I told you in second year, I
Mm.
was a speaker. You know, when you are holding a high position in a university,
Yes.
you are highly respected.
Yes.
When you are
Yes.
going to the dining,
Mm.
you are given priority in terms of first come, first serve.
Mm.
Then, of course, we had amenities.
Mm.
You're entitled to a very special room.
Oh.
Yes, I
Wow.
had my own room,
Mm.
and I was there alone. So you were alone, you could not share rooms.
Mm.
So you had a lot of privileges.
Okay. And how
Yes.
do you handle this whole adolescent state pressure and then the pride as well? At the university, you already have the positions.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, the pressure is there,
Mm.
but bottom line, you could also know
Yeah.
at that level what took you
What
to the
took you to
university.
the... All right.
For us, we had discussion groups.
Mm.
We were serious with our lecturers.
Mm.
They wasn't much indiscipline at the time.
Mm.
Yes, we would, like I told you, Northcote, culturally,
Mm.
traditionally, it was a hall full of stubborn guys,
Mm.
and you'd be addicted to the culture.
Okay.
But just because of the environment, because of the culture,
Mm.
you would behave the way they behave.
Mm.
Okay? When you find the halls like Livingston,
Mm.
those were halls for gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
When you find other halls like Africa Hall,
Mm.
those were halls for ladies
Mm.
who are sober minded,
Mm.
who hold high profile
Mm.
in society.
How about Lumumba?
Lumumba was a hall of stubborn guys.
Yeah.
You know, there was a Lumbox,
Mm.
that is Mary Strat.
Okay.
So for them, they would collaborate with
Mm.
Lumumba Hall
Mm.
because they were neighbors.
Oh.
Yes. So even if there is any activity like football,
Mm.
these people would support each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and do you continue working well at campus, or there you decided to study alone?
Yeah. Well, if it was time for studies,
Eh.
I would definitely come to study.
Mm.
During vacations,
Mm.
when we got our holidays, I would still go back to Hoima
Oh,
and work in the bank.
they had your position.
And my position is still the manager because the
Yeah.
manager, the entire staff liked me.
Oh.
So they would call upon my services.
Mm.
I did not have the pride that I'm a messenger.
Mm.
I would still do my job and get my money
Yeah.
because that's where I was earning a living, school fees,
Mm.
and all that.
Mm.
Yes.
So, and then if university is done, you immediately start working, or you go to hunting for jobs?
Yeah, when university was done,
Mm.
I definitely had to go back to the bank.
Okay.
Moreover, at that time,
Mm.
I had already qualified.
Mm.
And when I went back,
Mm.
the bank manager wrote to management
Mm.
that this person has been our employee
Mm.
on a temporary basis, but we want to confirm him.
Mm.
So I was confirmed under different position now
Okay.
because I had already a degree.
Mm.
I graduated in 1993.
Mm.
So I had a degree by then.
Mm.
And when I went back, they offered me a position of a banking officer.
Mm.
At that level in the bank, you are like a supervisor.
Mm.
So I went into different colors.
Okay.
Remember, from the beginning, I was a messenger,
Mm.
but they upgraded my position
Mm.
because I had already the academic papers,
Mm.
I had the qualifications, and the bank respected me because I had respected myself.
Mm.
I was a good employee, so they really gave me another position of a banking officer.
Mm.
Yes.
You already had the qualification, so how are you evolving?
So when I was again given the appointment letter,
Mm.
of course with a very good package,
Mm.
uh, I had to accept the offer
Mm.
and started working even more harder.
Yes.
Of course, I'll tell you the story of responsibilities, how the responsibilities started coming in.
Mm.
So I was posted to Wandegea branch.
Okay.
There was a branch in Wandegea.
Mm.
From Wandegea, I was posted to Rukunjiri.
Mm.
From Rukunjiri, my family was already
Mm.
living in Hoima. I haven't given you the story of how I got my family,
Okay.
how we came together with my dear wife Rose.
That one we are going straight
Yes.
there. Mm.
So I was posted there. Life became hard.
Mm.
You know, life when you have been staying with your family, it became very hard.
Eh.
So I had to start looking for another job,
Eh.
a better job.
Okay.
Then that is the time I was actually there was an opportunity in Madivan Group
Mm.
in NBL.
Yes.
It's a beer company.
Mm.
So they took me to work in Nile Breweries
Mm.
as a sales officer.
Okay. When is this?
That was 1996.
Okay.
1996.
Mm.
So I went to started working with the brewery.
Mm. Mm.
Actually, throughout my life, I worked in the breweries.
Okay.
You cannot believe this,
Wow.
but that is where I worked
Eh.
throughout my life.
Mm.
And I'm very popular because I've been in the breweries most of my time.
Mm.
I moved the whole of this country
Mm.
in different positions.
Mm.
So that was the time. Then, of course, those people are given vehicles.
Mm.
When you're a sales rep,
Mm.
when you're a sales officer, you are given a vehicle.
A vehicle, yes.
And that was my first time
Oh wow.
to start driving.
Hey.
So when they got me the vehicle with the job,
Mm.
better salary than the salary I was earning in the bank.
Mm.
Of course, when I left the bank, they were so disappointed, but greener pastures.
Mm. Yes.
I had to look for greener pastures.
Hey.
So I settled my life,
Wow.
and I was driving a vehicle.
Mm.
By then, there were very small Marutis.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow, that's
Yes.
very interesting.
Yes.
I think we are now picking momentum of how he started his life, and now he is already cruising in a vehicle as his second job, but of course better compared to the first one that he got immediately actually from campus. So it is interesting, and I think we should continue with this, but immediately after the short break.